Hello! How to get my water. Welcome to a random live stream I'm doing here. I'm trying to test a setup here in my office area, my digital office area, and I thought I'd bring y'all along for the challenge. Today we're doing a Hawley using my DenckOrtho wire bender right here. You can't see, I can't get very good angles. Behind it you see the Bender Max. You can't see the spool because of my stupid chair. But I'm trying a new thing here. Hopefully everybody can hear me. I am not hearing anything here. Let's try a little background music. Real low. So, that being said, let's get started. I have a screen here. I'm trying something new. And what we're going to do is we have what I call an interim Hawley, which is a Hawley like this. It's a mixed dentition case. Gonna have Adams clasp on the 6s and a 2-to-2 labial bow with labial acrylic. And this helps. It's also called a Phase I Hawley, and that will be used to hold these teeth. Mainly the front 4 and the 6s in place as the kid loses their baby molars and grow in their bicuspids and their canines. So this is a baby canine, this is an adult canine. So this is definitely a big mixed dentition case. So we're gonna see how that goes. I can't remember if I downloaded this or not. If you see me looking over here, I have my other computer that I am pulling the scans from. So the scans are going to be pulled from this computer to this computer, which is right here, this computer right here. So, which, I don't know if I could show you this right here. You can see my little camera I have over here. This is what I was using for the screen. Oh, that stopped working. Oh, there it goes. Okay. So I have this computer here. Boy, this is really dark. And this computer came with my bender, so it runs the software. Now I can get it to run on this computer, but right now I don't have it running that. So I have this little setup. So I made a network file. These two computers are on the same Wi-Fi, and once I dump a file in that, I can pull it up on this computer. I'll show y'all that in a little bit. I'm going to download this upper Hawley scan. Give me a second. Okay. And let's close that down. And then over here, we're going to get my mouse to wake up. We're going to do a new patient, and we're going to call this, we're trying to come up with like a numbering method, because I want to bring y'all along as much as I can to show y'all this, and I can't reveal the names of the patients, so that's why I'm using a numbering scheme, which it hopefully doesn't take as long to actually type this in. So this is the software. What we're at now is like the patient file. So this is like the patient software. And what we're looking for the wire bending software is this software does so much stuff that orthodontists use. But we're just mainly concentrating on this. I have a video coming out on this soon. And maybe I'll talk about it at the end. So I'm going to open it up. It opens up the workplace, I guess you would call that. And I'm going to go to this model import. This is the one that I'm working on today, but I'm going to drag it over to the downloads of this computer. So this is my network file. I'm going to drag it to the downloads, and it pops up there. And I grab that and I press open. It goes, hey, you only have one jaw selected. And I was like, okay, yeah. This is if you meant to import 2, you get a chance to go back and grab the second one. I'm going to click this up here. Oh, this is so much better than a camera on here. You'll see all my recorded videos coming up. I got camera working. Okay, so we're gonna go next. And I just realized I have installed a program on here that does my key logging, so you can see the buttons I push. I wonder if I can turn that on real quick. Can I find it? Nope, that's not it. That's not it. Hold on, hang on. Where is this? Is a Windows 10 computer, so I'm used to the other kind. I think it's a key. Oh, was that it? Key press. Well, that's not what I wanted. That's nowhere near what I wanted. Where is this? Is it still? Is it in the downloads? Did I not? Yeah, it's this one. There it goes. So I bought this thing. So let's see. Is it, hold on. Give me a. I should have. Yeah, there we go. All right. So my mouse now, and if I press, yeah. So you can see here the letter T. Oh, it's under the. Okay, let me see if I can move this. Can I move this? Hold on, I'm still new with this software, but I really want y'all to see the keyboard thing. There we go. Show. Can I move this now? Yeah, here we go. I'm gonna move this down here. So yeah, can y'all see that? Yeah, we'll just put it right down here. Well, that's not. Okay, all right. Again, this is not ideal. Let me remove my face, and then you can see my key presses. Let's do this. There we go. All right. So hopefully you can still hear me. So let me do the little halo thing. And I'm doing right click to move the thing around. And I'm going to repair some of this. So what the AI did is try to figure out the difference between the teeth and the gums. And it needs that for the AI generation. So like this one, I'm going to double click that. And I'm just going to redraw that line right there. And it skipped 5. We're just going to go ahead and skip it. This is not upper left 7. This is, we're 6. It's saying 6 is gone, but this is actually upper left 6 right here. This is upper left 6. So if I do this, okay, so it really, this mixed dentition really messed up the AI. Usually it's really good on this. So let me fix the rest of this. Maybe I can figure out. This is really, okay, just make that clean. There we go. All right. So, and then upper right 2, there we go. Let's, there we go. Sometimes when there's a space between the teeth, and it shows up in the scan, it will do the thing where it tries to go, see there's a triangle right there of where it's going through. So it'll go that instead of going over the top, which kind of throws off everything. So let's go back to this 6 and okay. Let's try the 6 again. There's the 6. Okay, here we go. Let's take this and delete. Okay, that leaves the 6. So let's double click in here and then I'm just gonna do a real rough. There we go. So usually this mixed dentition case with this wire bending software is a little challenging. You know, the AI, as we all know, is not perfect, but when it works, it is nice. So there's the 6. This is not really the 5, it's, you know, a D or an E, I mean. And so, but for our purposes, it is a 5. That's a 4, 3, okay. There we go. There's an actual 3, and that's a C. So let's go with, that's it. Let's go next. So it's real important to grab those, especially the areas where you're going to put a clasp or a wire. Then that's what is real important. So those 5s and 4s in this case, not that important except for where it butts up against the 6. So let's go with next. So what that was that you saw there was it is letting you know that you can move a tooth. So if you need to reset some teeth before you bend the wire, you can do that at that stage. So I just went in and clicked next. I didn't need to reset any teeth. So we are in the wire bending mode here. And one of the cool features that they've just added is if you want to bend a Hawley retainer. So this interim counts as a Hawley retainer. If you right click on tooth position selection, it gives you the standard Hawley, and so it, like you can see, the labial bow usually goes between 13 and 14 and 23 and 24. If you're an American, you don't realize this numbering system. I believe it's called the federal numbering system, and it helps to number the teeth. So this is the second quadrant, and this is tooth 1 of the second quadrant. Tooth 2 of the second quadrant. Anyway, that's not my point. Let's go back. So right here, I can do a system default, and I click interim, and let's try the other one. Yeah, here we go. So it will do the labial bow between 12 and 13 and 22 and 23, and then I'll put the Adams clasp on 16 and 26. And if there's a lower one, this is for the mandible. So this is the lower. And then I'm going to click this. It's going to add them all at once. So what you're putting in here is the coordinates of the 2 teeth you want the wire to go in between. And then, of course, on this clasp is this tooth, if that makes sense. Okay, it's telling me it doesn't have a lower jaw, so it didn't generate those. Oh, here we go. Because it was actually trying to show the lower jaw just then, but it didn't have a lower jaw to show, so it was blank. So if we go to wires to be bent right here, it'll list those wires that it created. So these are the wires here. Adams clasp, ball clasp. Oh, those are the lowers. Okay, so let's go with the labial bow first. So I'm going to click on that. It's going to bring up labial bow here. Now, ooh, that kind of messed up, didn't it? I think I want to make these, so this default is 5 millimeters between here and here. I like to make these loops a little smaller on these 2-to-2 labial bows, and you do that right here. And let's do 4.8. And so now you can see it's a little bit smaller. So I'm going to move this over just by grabbing. So if they're red, it means it's locked. You can't adjust like this arch at all. So, but it grabs it all together. What I'm doing here is trying to stretch that up. Also, what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold the shift button down, and I'm going to rotate this to where it looks a little more normal to me. Let's move these. I'm going to push the layer T. When you see purple like this, that means the distance between the bending head and the wire channel is too short, so it would not be able to make that bend. So these dots, you can just move them around, and it's like moving a wet noodle. And then there's also other keyboards, so I can do Q and that pulls the wire out. If I do E, it pushes it into, and it depends on your orientation. You got to be looking straight down on it. So let's look at, let's look at this. I do want to hold the shift and left click. Let's get that straightened. Let's go pull this out. And we are doing labial acrylic, so it doesn't necessarily need to touch the teeth. I do like, this is how I was taught. I don't know if y'all were taught this way. Oh, wow, that went into the tooth, as you can see. So on my keyboard, I'm going to do A. And it's kind of like WSD. It's going to move that point to the right, depending on the vision that you're looking at. And so let's pull this down. There we go. And let's get this a little closer. That was not the dot I moved. There we go. I kind of want to move this whole thing forward. Move that. I try not to touch the tooth. Where it's red is where it's touching the scan. So let's back that off a bit. And whatever points you make, you know, it makes a big difference. See, this looks lopsided to me. Of course, the mouth may be a little lopsided. So I'm going to stretch this up to match the other. I'm just grabbing one of the dots and making it tall. So we're making it like tall like the other. And I'm going to push T. Should get rid of that. So I like the looks of this. Still looks a little crooked. I think if I raise this. Yeah, that looks good. So if you're tuning in, we're making a Hawley retainer using a robot wire bender. And so this is the software that sends the coordinates of the bends to the robot wire bender. So I'm going to move this here and up and out. And I'm highlight that. I'm going to move, hit the D, and then hit the T. Okay. Oh, Claudia, hello from Argentina. Awesome. Glad you're. Ooh, I like your logo, Claudia Chavez. Dentist. Are you dentist? You probably enjoy this technology too. I've had such a fun time with this wire bender. I really have. Let's see, I'm going to make this straight. Because what I really want to do is bend this side like this. But sometimes it collides during the bending process. So we're going to have to keep that straight. So how do we check to see if it's going to collide? We hit this edit button right here. So I'm going to click that. It's going to calculate it. It's going to do all the bends and stuff. And then it's going to, if nothing pops up, it says it's done. All right, what? Let's set up, and we're going to go. Oh, I'm using Dentarum wire. I have Dentarum wire, and I was testing something, but let me leave this one in here and just go ahead and bend it with the Dentarum wire. We've been working with JBC wire, which is what I use to hand bend my wire. I have a thing of it here. And let's try the difference between these two. Let me bend this with the Dentarum wire, and then we'll switch back and and bend with JBC wire. And we've been working with JBC wire to get the calibration down. So we've been working with the calibration, me and Dr. Neil at DenckOrtho, and we're working to calibrate that wire. The machine comes from the factory right now, calibrated to Dentarum wire, because the company's in Germany, founded in Germany or whatever, and Dentarum's a Germany company, so they use Dentarum wire. But we are sending some JBC wire. JBC's a ortho manufacturer here in the great state of Texas, and he's going to calibrate it. But we've been doing it on Zoom calls, trying to calibrate using the machine, learning how to calibrate. So anyway, let's get this bent. I can talk while we do that. I'm going to double click on here again. Let's just edit this to make sure I didn't do anything weird. And then I'm going to click this button, start bending. And theoretically, okay. Oh, it's out of wire. So let me go ahead and change this to JBC wire. Now, I have to put in the millimeter length of the JBC wire. The JBC wire comes in lengths of 14 inches, or I would call this 350 millimeters. And so the machine works in millimeters. So I'm going to change this out. Oh, my thing doesn't work. So to change this out, well, let's go back to here. I do this, I say yes, the next wire is going to be 350, and then need to confirm that. And then it releases the clamps. So I pulled out the other wire, and I'm going to put in the new wire. Sorry if that, yeah, let's see, yeah. I'm just feeding it in the front. I'm going to turn my network connection on real quick. Oh, while that is doing that, let's do confirm completion of feeding. Yes, confirm completion of feeding. Yes. Okay. I just realized while my wireless camera's not working, I don't have my internet connected to my streaming site. So, okay, so that has finished there. And what I'm going to do is I need to change the wire parameter. So this is part of the process. I'm going to use JBC 0.8. So this is 0.8 of a millimeter, which is 030 of an inch. So is what we use. So now it's sending all that data over to the machine. I'm going to double click this again. And I'm going to click edit. And it's going to warn me, hey, you just changed the parameters. Detect it that selected steel wire brand, blah, blah, Dentarum, that D right there. The bending design does not match the steel wire brand JBC. Please use corresponding. And then it says, do you want to change it? Yes. So it's calculating it, because the wires all bend different. Some bend easier, some bend softer. So I don't know what this means. Please download this video. Okay. I probably will. I usually download it and upload it to my Patreon ad-free. But actually, I think I'm live streaming right now ad-free. So that's fun. Oh, here we go. I got my wireless camera working. I talk long enough, I figure things out. Let's see if I can brighten this some so y'all can see it being bent. Okay, so that's the front of the machine, and we are going to edit again over here, and then I'm going to click start bending, and then I go over here now. So if you don't know, let's see if I have my thing here. If you don't know, it's actually bending here. It starts here and it bends around. Whereas when I bend by hand, I start in the middle, but the machine can't start in the middle of the wire. So it's just bending just one part. And I actually get some pliers over here so I can actually work on what did I just touch? Oh. Okay. So bending is complete. Let's go back to here. Bending is complete. And so we'll grab this. We'll grab the model. Let's see how this turned out. I got a weird light source over here, but let's see if I can do this light source too. So here we go. Oh, it's just a little off. So somewhere, so I'm still learning the software. I'm going to use some 3 prongs. It's like this bend. Maybe it's going through the scan somewhere. There we go. That's a lot better. All right. So I'm just going to tighten this up. You can see this is still faster than me hand bending it. Now, obviously it doesn't take into effect the design time, but my wire bending time is almost cut in half. So all I'm doing now is just slightly adjusting everything. I like it. It might have been a little off because I changed the wire parameters on this. So in mid thing. So ideally with this you can actually use, I could switch to 0.7, which is 0.28 for those in the States that use inches. I could use 0.28, so you can just switch it, but you got to switch the wire type before you start designing it. But I'm going to bend this all in 0.30, even the Adams clasp, and to me that's just going to help just keep it easier to bend all these at once. Okay, so let's click on one of these. Again, we're under wires to be bent. It's listing them all here. So you click here. Oh, was that a lower one? I don't have a lower. Okay, this one. I thought I was down too far. So here is the automatic AI generated Adams clasp. As you can see, it's not too bad. I would like this to be a little bit here. So I'm going to hold control and dip that down. Hold control and dip that down. Just a little bit. Get into that undercut a little bit. Can I hide this thing? Yep. There we go. Okay. So I like this to be straight. It always seems the AI to generate a short one. What I'll do is I'll just bend this by hand. And maybe I can do that since I got my pliers here. But this actually, I'm going to scooch this around a bit to the front. I think it's more in this corner. And that's in there pretty good. So like, here's where I'd click that and I press the E to push it down. So you see that number right there? That's actually telling me the distance. If I zoom in, you can probably see it. The distance between the nearest part of the scan and that wire. So if I go Q and go out, see how it increases? And it gets actually closer to this side. So if I go in, if I press T, there we go. It'll move one of these dots to make that bend big enough. And that one, I don't really want to touch. I can probably push it in a little bit. Let's go Q. Nope, let's go E. Step it down just a bit. Okay. I want to make that a little longer. How do they look like coming into the acrylic? Looks good. Let's edit this, see if it has any errors. Machine collision detected here. Now what does that mean? Let me show you. If you go to simulation right here and you click mock, it will actually mock the bends coming out of the wire bender. So if let's see, there's probably an angle on here. If I click locate first collision, okay, so it's colliding with the bending head down here. So either I need to change the angle of this or just move this forward a little bit. So I'm going to exit simulation. The quickest fix may be just moving these forward. You know what, let me just go ahead and bend it like so. And let's do edit. Okay. Oh, that's right, because when the AI generated, it was the other brand of wire that was in there. So that's interesting. It's going to do that on each one of these. Okay, so the collision moved. So if I go back to mock and toggle first collision, yeah, I need to really just flare this straight out. I was curving it in, so let me flare it out. And then that might help with this. I'm going to use my mouse. I'm going to collect all three of these, and I'm going to move the whole thing. And let's just go ahead and move that down and edit. There we go. So we got rid of that collision. Okay, so you can see it's showing the angle of going into the each bridge part. So this is over 90 degrees and that's under 90 degrees. So if I wanted to change that, I can move that a little bit, and I can grab this, and I'm not holding shift this time. Oh, I need to move it this way. If I want to keep those at perfect 90s, let's see if that changed anything here. And you could take it, looking at this angle, you take this and you can really dig it into the tooth, and that'll give you some really good retention if that's the way you like to do it, or if you like to add the retention in QC. So let's do edit, see if those angles I changed anything. Oh, we sure did. Let's move this a little bit. Let's edit it again. Still there. Okay, I bet you it's this over here again. Every mouth is different, so it's going to, yeah. Oh, I just need to make that a sharper bend. Okay. So let's just make this like so. Edit. Okay, that did it. So like I said, every mouth is different. It'll just be beautiful. I'm gonna edit one more time. And then let's start bending. Now the beautiful part of this is you can actually start working on the other one. So as that's bending, actually I'm going to zoom in just a bit so y'all can see closer. But as that's bending, you can actually start working on the other one. So this screen over here is actually completely movable, except for this. This is just letting you know, hey, it's bending, but you can work around it. So I'm going to click on this one, and it should activate that side. And I can go ahead and start working on getting this. This needs to be over here. Let's hit T. I'm going to lengthen this a little bit. Smooth that. Okay, so that is done. Let's go to here and let's try that. Let's see how it is. I have been having issues with the left side. Not issues, I just need to calibrate it some more. Again, we're working with JVC wire and it's new for this machine, and it makes this a little bit tight. So can I zoom in? Yes, I can. Who says you can't, Cade? So if I take that and if I just stretch this, I think it's somewhere in here, and you can go into calibrate and you can say, hey, this bend right here, they're numbered in there, which bin. This one's overcompensating, and you can tell it to stop, you know, change the parameters on it. Soon, hopefully, I'll have a video on that. It's kind of a neat process to calibrate this machine. So there we go. Depending on how you like your Adams clasp, and I actually prepped this model, so it is I've prepped the gums here. So it is just a little bit. I bet the other side's going to be beautiful. There we go. I just had to stretch it out some more. I just leaned it. So there we go. What I'm going to do is I'd probably take this and bend this forward because I know where my acrylic's going to go. And let's straighten this. I like these to be in parallel with each other. So my acrylic needs to come down and around that. I might change that a little bit later on. But let's go to this other one. Yes, bending is complete. And this looks funny. Let me see if I can tighten that in. Oh, I can. See, it tries to keep that triangle right there. Shift, let's pull this down where I think the undercut's going to be. Sometimes these puffy gums make this difficult. Let's go ahead and pull this down. And again, you can use the keyboard, you can use your mouse. So like this one, I could either look on top of it and I can press the D. Oh, I gotta highlight it. Press D and it'll pull that away from where it was touching the tooth. There's something weird over here I don't like. Let me move this a little closer to the front. Okay, that looks better to me for some weird reason. It helps when you are a wire bender. My son, and we might get into that if I have some time on this live stream. My son bent some of these for me, and so they're he's not a wire bender, but that's where it saves me bending time. He can get 90% of the clasp where it needs to be, and I just put my final, you know, couple percentages, 90%. You know, I'll finish up the 10%, and it takes me less time. Let's hit the edit button. Now it's gonna probably warn me again. It didn't. Now that maybe it did it both for both of them. But like you can see, this angle here is different. Actually, I think that's too far into the tooth. Let me pull this out some. I'm gonna look down on it so you can see. Let me pull this out. Maybe it was right the first time and I just made it worse. So let me slide that. Okay. And let's do edit. Edit. Oh, here we go. Okay. Now it's saying it. I was getting a little worried. It didn't warn me. It's like, hey, you're changing the parameter of your wire. So I don't know why this one is red. I guess I think it means you can't get rid of that point. But like if I wanted to add another point in here so I can bend that, if you right click, you can increase the bend point. And it puts one there. You can just drag these down. So if I wanted to, I could bend this in parallel with that one. And I'm probably going to run into the problem of it collision, but let's hit edit and see. Yeah, it collided. So I'm going to straighten this here and hit edit. And my son can just, he does a real good job. Again, right now it gets about 80% there. Just a little bit of training of how I like my Adams clasp to look and my wires on here, he'll get it to 90% pretty easily. Let's start bending. So what that error is there's a wire detecting element in the wire bender, and it is trying to detect the wire thing. I think it came unplugged during shipment. I got to plug it back in, but I haven't gotten that far yet. It's just like a safety feature, kind of like on your car. You got to press the brake to turn it to drive or whatever. But so it's just a safety, so you're not going to accidentally use the wrong type of wire in there. There we go. Oh, I think I might have either tried to. This machine, you can see it makes a really tight bend. I think it's 20 degrees. See how it raises up? It uses a different part of the bending head to make that, to fold that bend over more. So this does a pretty decent job of wire bending. And you notice I used a full stick of wire. I'll show y'all in a second. Let me grab this. Let me show, before I show it on the model. So it's 350 millimeters. We're down to 129. So it keeps track. So it knows how long each bit, how long the labial bow is going to be, how long the two Adams clasps are going to be, and I can really see where you could start figuring it out. Hey, I got a little piece of wire left. So like the next bend I do, I might do the Adams clasp first, and it can use up the rest of that 129 millimeters of wire. And oh my gosh, you're gonna see this. Watch this. That just fell right into place. That just fell right at that. Was worth it. So it tells me the right Adams clasp, I just need to adjust the calibration a little bit, and then once you adjust the calibration, it saves it into that wire type, and it'll just keep doing that bend the correct way every single time. So there we go. There is a interim Hawley 2-2 labial bow and Adams clasp on the 6s, and overall I'm pretty pleased. It's only going to take a few minutes for me to get this ready for acrylic. Of course I got to put separator in there and wax out some undercuts and stuff, and this will be ready to go. And of course I got to put labial acrylic on the front. So there we go. And then I put it in here in my case pan with the wire, and this is what my son does, and he actually has a stack of them in there that he's already done. He did on Friday. So it's not, I just pick up the stack. There's already wire, pre-bent wire, and a model in there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this over here so I know to take it back in there. Let's work on a lower. Well, I'm not sure. Well, that should work. So this is a lower Hawley 503. So you can't see. Maybe I can show it from here. Well, if you move the camera, it doesn't like it. That's terrible. Okay. You know, to log in, so I use EasyRx for my software. And I'm going to search for the case pan number. And view. And, oh wait, I can't use that. Let's see. I got to go into the patient file. and find that. Let's see. Upper jaw scan original. That was from May. This is a remake of a retainer. And 506. Okay. So I think it's upper, lower. Let's download this one. Okay. So now we can go over here. That's not right. Okay, so we're done with this case. Well, I need to come back and rebend the wire. I just reopened the patient file. Yes, I want to close it. And if I do return, here's my list of, let's refresh. And then here's my list of patients that I've worked on. So I'll do a new patient. This is 503 CDN. Confirm. Okay, so we're going to click this again. It's going to open up the file. I'm going to go to model import. Here's the model I just did. I'm going to drag it. Oh, where's my, there we go. Where's my downloads? I just choose a file to put it onto this computer. And then now, yes, only has one file. Should be the lower, hopefully. It can figure out, the AI figured, yeah, it figured out it's the lower. The lower is always this teal blue color, and the upper are always golden. If you can delete lower jaw, edit upper jaw, swap jaws, rotate and swap jaws. So if they get imported wrong or the coordinates are wrong on it, you can do that. So let's do next. They'll do the AI pre-process where it's going to figure out, hey, where's the teeth? Where are the gums? Because it needs to know where each is to be able to AI generate labial bows and stuff on it. This is kind of weird in here. I don't think it's going to matter. So I'm going to go ahead and click next. And again, this is where you can reset teeth. If you hit Q, you can go to the next tooth and like, hey, I want to move this. You would actually move it around before you get started on it. And then hit next. And there's also, you can create aligners with this software, which I don't do aligners. So that is maybe in the future if a doctor asks for it. So we're going to do Hawley retainer this side. And we're going to do the lower. And where are my, there we go. We're going to do, where did my, there we go. Okay. We're going to do a labial bow. Again, let me go return. We're going to do lower labial bow and then automatically generate. Again, here's your, I'll need to make a video one day of just showing what all these mean. But like smooth, and then we automatically generate and show you that. There we go. So you can see it does a pretty good job. Again, if I wanted smaller loops here, I can just change it right here and go 4.8 and it changes it to smaller loops. I don't know if I necessarily like it. Let's go back 5.3. Or if you want huge loops, you can do 5.8. So you can tell here it's too tight, so I'm going to hit T, and that's going to get rid of that. This is almost, I don't think it really needs much work. I'm just checking where it is on the gums. I'd rather have this bend point. Let's see if I can do it without screwing things up. I'd rather have this bend point here. So I'm just going to try to move it over. And then I'll hit T, let that work its way out. And I'm touching, so I'm going to hit D to move it to the right. There we go. So if y'all are gamers, you know WSD. Funny how you'll use it at work too. So Q, 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 and that gets that from digging into the model. And this is actually going to be bent backwards, like this direction. So I might want to raise this up. And I'll show you in a little bit what I mean by that. This one, I don't think I can bend it backwards. I think it's going to have a collision, but it's worth trying. Worth trying. Let's straighten that up. Do T. Lengthen that. So I'm trying to picture it with my other wire in there. So there's going to be two wires. There's going to be lower lingual arch and a labial bow. Hey, that cleared. Nice. Okay, let's bend this before it goes back on what it said. Wires to be bent and start bending. Okay, so remember that whole stick thing? It's gonna have me, well, okay, I'm doing the labial bow first because there's a chance there's enough remaining wire left to bend this. We're gonna see. And yeah, it doesn't have enough. So I'm gonna hit the length of the next wire. And then what that's gonna do is get the wire ready for me to grab and replace. So I'm gonna lift the hood of this. I pulled out that. See, there's that. I keep these because I think when we get better at it using this machine, I bet we can use those for like Adam's clasp or little clasp where you don't need that much wire, so you have a lot less waste. Okay, there we go. And I'm gonna come back here and click this, click this, click this. So a lot of confirmations, especially when it can't sense the diameter. So it's gonna be cool whenever that one gets there. So it's actually, you didn't see it, but it's cutting it. And so if you look over here, 349.5, so I typed in 350. So it knows it just bit off a ½ millimeter of wire. So now I'm going to hit edit again just in case, and we're going to start bending. Continue bending. We'll go back to here. This thing got, can you see that? Zoom in just a bit. So while that's bending, if I hit this, I can come back to the software and we're going to do the continuous rest. Now this is I'm going to hit return, and this is a new thing they just added, so it doesn't have the auto generation, AI auto generation. You got to kind of click on certain points to do it manually. So I'm going to click lower and the lingual arch and confirm. So this is going to have me click on certain anatomy features on here. Oh, I got to hold shift and click. Shift, click. And I'm just kind of tracing where I want this continuous rest lingual arch to go. That little bending in process. There we go. So you can really shave off some time by designing the next one while the labial bow is being bent. Okay. Where did my model go? Oh, I never did put it over there. There's the lower model, already printed. One of the things I'm doing is actually having my son, because he does all the model printing. And so this, you see that slight, I mean, it's really close. I mean, it's just got a slight rock to it. But if I can bend like this, I mean, I'm just bending it with my hands, that fit a lot better. I'm just going to bend that down. The lighting is terrible for doing this. One of these days I'm going to figure out how we're going to bend one start to finish. We're going to design it, robot wire bend it, and then take it in there and put acrylic on it and finish it out. We'll go start to finish doing this. But I've got to figure out my camera situation. I'm in 2 different rooms. There we go. I like it. I think it did a good job. All right, let's do this lingual arch. Okay, bending is complete. Now again, this is still an experimental stage, but it doesn't come out. It comes out a little over bent, so but I still practice with it, and that way I can give feedback to DenckOrtho and let them know, hey, this is what needs to be changed. So if any of y'all are interested in this machine, I do have a link below. It takes you to a form you can fill out to get more information if you're serious about purchasing this machine. Oh, I don't know if I forgot to tell you. It's $21,000. This machine, $21,000. It's pretty good. So I'm going to press P here, and that changes from, like, you move these things and you get big changes in it. If you want more precision, I'm going to undo that. If you want more precision, press P, I guess, for points or precision, and then you can actually move everything. So let's go Q, 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 Q. Pull that out. Now this is where we're going to run a little bit into a problem. And Q, 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 Q. All right. So if I hit T, I think it has a hard time because it's the inside of the mouth, so there's not much room to go. So I can't get rid of that by pressing T. So I'm going to hit that. So I'm highlighting that. Am I highlight? Yeah, I'm highlighting. I'm going to hit right click. I'm going to delete this. So I don't need that extra bend point. Just make it straight from here to here. So let's do Q. Okay, let's do T. All right, so it's not, I might have to get rid of another bend point. Again, I just want y'all to know this is still experimental. This one I'm going to get rid of. Delete. Let's stretch that in. There we go. I like that better. And let's move this point and down. Yeah. Can live with that. So now let's take this and I'm pulling it out with using the Q button. I'm going to get this out of the way. There's something to do with the tip of this wire that needs to be updated. And I gotta work with them. Let's do yeah. Oh, I don't like that. Let's move this more in the center. So there we go. So you can see it didn't give me any errors of the bend is too short, you know, that purple thing. But if I hit this, sometimes it gives me that error, but I'll go ahead and bend it. Hey, look at that. Did a good job. So since we put a new stick in, we got 260 millimeters to work with. Let's bend this thing and start bending. And so that noise you're hearing is the spindle, the collet in the back, moving back to grab the length of wire that it needs to to do this. Again, I want to say that this is experimental. This isn't going to fit 90%. It's going to take a little bit of adjustment. The correlation that I can give is that when you do a retainer, you do a repair, and the acrylic's broke, but the wires are still good, and you strip out the wires out of the acrylic and you just readapt them back on the model. That's what this feels like. It's like you're skipping a whole bunch of steps of bending it, and you just need to adjust a little bit, because whenever you're bending it with the retainers coming back for repair have been bent in such a way to activate them, and so sometimes you have to unactivate them to get them to work. Well, that went way faster than I thought. So you see that collet retreating to grab more wire and push it through, and then it's going to cut it. I can already see it's too wide. Oh, landed over. Here it is. Okay. Let's go. Oh, I forgot to show y'all before we go there. I wanted to show y'all, if you click up here by my head, there, wire display, it'll show all the wires. And so I bet you get pretty good at, hey, I need to move this up to clear the lower wire, right? Actually, I want to just delete that bend point. And then edit. Yeah, so you could actually get this to where it clears, you know, your wire. So they should just fall into place. Now, I do like these little handles on this. It gives me handles to work with. But let's see here. Let's go to this camera. All right, you can see it's already wide, too wide. Again, this is a new wire that doesn't have AI generation yet. So I'm just gonna do this with my hand here. See if I can get this. If I get the length right on it. So again, what I was trying to say before is that didn't take too long. And what I'll do is I can just wax that down and cut that off later, those little things there. And then here we go. So if you look here and then look here, it's very similar. Real close. Oh, let me see if I can do the right. And then look here. Am I holding it in the same orientation? But there we go. And then that one is ready for prepping the model and putting acrylic on. How long have we gone? We've got an hour. Okay, I usually try to keep these live streams at an hour. That way, people can come and go as we please. We've got 9 viewers still, so give me a thumbs up if you want me to do a couple more. Let's check my time here. Make sure everything is good. Okay. So let's import these. You want to close it? Yes. Let me import these real quick. Let's just see how fast I can do this now without too much problem. This is, nope. So what I'm doing over here is downloading the scans out of EasyRx. And here's the lower. Save, and then here's the lower. Save. All right, so now if I go back to here, I need to go and do a new patient. And we're gonna go pan number and initials. And confirm. And then OG DOS. And now it's going to ask me for those scans, which are those two. I'm going to drag them to downloads to get them out of the other computer. I'm going to shift, click both those, hit open. The last two we did were actually just singles. So this one is just going to be a double. As that works, if anyone is interested in buying one of these machines, let's see, I think I have a QR code. I'll put it up here real quick. Style. Make sure I'm... While this is AI generating, here's a QR code. The link to it is down below also if you want to just, if you can't use the QR code. You can QR code this. You can actually fill out a form to get more information. Again, this is a $21,000 computer or wire bending robot. And I'm working out a deal with Dr. Neil in just true transparency. If you buy one using this link, a little bit of money gets put back into the channel, so I can buy more of these equipments and do reviews on them and stuff. So there's the QR code to use. Again, if the QR code doesn't work, use the link in the description below. So let's go full screen. Let's just look at the upper. Yeah, I probably don't need to do this, but there's an anal part of me, OCD part of me that wants it done. Let's look at the lower. Again, we won't be putting anything on the 7 in this case, so you'll have to know what you're dealing with. But you want your 2s and your 3s because that's the wire's going to go through there, and then all the teeth here and the 2s and the 3s. So he's using a different numbering system. This is what we're used to in America, in the U.S. and some other countries. This using a coordinate system called a Palmer system. So these all look good. Let's go next. And we're going to click next again. I don't need to reset any teeth. And it takes us straight to the wire bender. So we are ready. I just whistled. I don't know why I'm whistling so much. Let me get some water. I'm going to go Hawley retainer. Now, I don't need, remember how I did the right clicked like this? You can if you want to double check. So I'm looking at 13 and 14, 20, 23 and 24. And then Adams class, we're going to have Adams is 16 and 26. Now this sets the C clasp to the 7s. And then the lower is here too. But we're not... well, I guess let me AI generate them all. I'm going to delete these. I don't want C clasp. I don't want C clasp on the lower. I don't want Adams clasp on the lower because I'm going to use rest. So the only thing we're going to do is a mandibular bow. If I show the mandibular, you can see it's going to be between 43 and 44, 33 and 34, just like that. So I'm going to hit AI generation, and it's going to generate all those and put them on the model, and then we just go in and adjust them. Okay, let's go over here to wires to be bent. Click on that, and that lists all the wires that are on these models. And you double click here. So if you double click on the wire, it brings up the wire properties, and then it highlights in blue which one you're looking at. So let's edit. Okay, I have 171 wires left. So this is where you got to use your brain a little bit and go, hey, I'm going to use up as much of that wire as possible. So I'm going to start on an Adams clasp. Let's start on this one. This is the one that gives me issues that I need to calibrate, but for right now, we're just going to dip that in there, dip that in there. I need a point right here. Let's do this and increase bend point, so it puts me an extra point. I'm going to put a bend right here, but I do not know why that stuck it into the thing like that. Now move this up. You can hit the letter T. I think that's good. I like to look at it from the occlusion. Looks pretty good. Now, this won't fit the model. I didn't prep these models. I'm doing these as a bonus. So I did not prep the models. But as you can see, this is a little bit bigger mouth because there's a lot more space between these two. Let's see if I can get these to line up some. I actually like to, so I grabbed all three of those points. I'm just kind of putting a fade right there. Let's do T. Let's click this, reduce that. My acrylic cut is going to be the distal of the 7 and at an angle like this. And so that was going to be kind of in the way. So let's click edit. Now you see this yellow down here. The distance point's too small. Please adjust. So it gave me a clear. I need a thumbs up. Maybe we add a thumbs up. Like, hey, it's good. All right. So here we go. We're gonna bend this. Remaining wire is 171 millimeters. Let's see if it's long enough. So start bending. Continue bending. And is it gonna be enough? Yeah. So whenever I replace the wire on the next one, it's going to be a short piece of wire I pull out of there. So let me go to my other screen here. While that's bending, I'm going to click on this one now, which brought up this side. And let's get this. Hold shift. I like that to be parallel with the occlusion. This, I might need to take out a bend, it looks like. Let's just do T, let's see how that works. S, let's go E, 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 push that in until it touches something. Pull it back out, press T. Let's bend this out. I'm gonna shift this whole thing in. It's about to cut it off. Okay, so it'll take over my computer when it's done. Let me know it's done. Bending is complete. So let's, again, this is not gonna be fit very well because I haven't, you know how I pushed those eyelets into the arrowhead clasp? I pushed them into the gums. Oh, I'm showing you this, but you can't see it. I pushed them into the gums on the scan, but I haven't prepped those. So let's see. Yeah, you can see it just, one of the bends messes up on this side, and that can easily be taken care of with some calibration. So keep an eye out for a video on calibration. So it just takes a little bit of bending to get it to seat down. Again, this is not going to seat all the way down because I don't have it prepped. Yeah, see, it's not going all the way down there. So I don't want to adjust too much until I get that prepped. But let's move to this other Adams clasp. Now that's kind of really, let's pull this out a little bit. That was a little crazy. I feel like this. Yeah. And I like them in the corners. Like if I take a line from the cusp tip down, I like them there. Let me see if I can just shift this whole thing over just a bit. There we go. Okay, so let's pull these down into the occlusion a little bit. Again, I might have to get rid of a point. I think I'm gonna get rid of this one. Delete. Let's push T, there we go. And then Is that flared up? Not too bad. Not as bad as I thought it was. But that's probably why that bend was there, that I deleted. I have to put it back. Let's cue this out of the occlusion. And make that a little longer. Let's grab those and just slide it forward. And I like this to be down a little bit. I don't like it that short. And if y'all been watching my channel for a while, y'all know I usually put little loops at the ends of my wires, and I was trying my hardest to get that to work for me. Obviously, the machine cannot make loops because it'll bend the wire on itself. You know, with humans, you can move your hands, but okay. Hit edit. Let's see if this has any issues. Nope, it does not. Now, here's something I'm going to do. Another feature I want to show y'all. Well, it's touching that. Touching that. Yeah, I can't get it. Okay, let's hit edit again. Another feature I'm going to show y'all is I want to take the, oh, we got some ortho plaque. Oh, that's a cool name. Hello, how are you doing? Can you make a wraparound bow? Yes, that video is coming soon. And in fact, it's this one, and I have been experimenting, and I have made, I'll show you a preview of that video. I made a wraparound with this machine. It does a really decent job. So that video's coming. I just recorded that one, and I don't get to experiment much with these because I don't get many scans that want wraparounds. Most of my wraparounds are for plaster models. So I get plaster models to make my wraparounds. Just so happens the two doctors that still send me plaster models, they like wraparounds. So if that tells you anything about our industry, yeah, that's how that is. But yeah, good question. It does do wraparounds. It does beautiful wraparounds. And the more you work on the calibration, the better it gets. Orthoply. Oh, awesome. You're welcome. Yeah, glad that I could answer that question. Okay, so that one worked. The next feature that I wanted to show you is our bending list. So let me go to the labial bow. Let's adjust this. It looks pretty good. Let's move this here. And I feel like this whole thing needs to be like rotated. So I'm gonna grab here, I'm gonna press shift, and it's gonna kind of rotate it. And then, of course, it dug it into the model a bit. I probably shouldn't do this yet. Pull that in, pull that in, pull that in. Do T. Click that. Now, when you adjust these, you do get pretty quick at it. And one thing I tell my son, zoom out, Gabe, is look at the front. You know, make sure the labial bow is level. This seems a little low to me. So I'm actually gonna click here, I'm gonna lift up here, and I'm gonna click here, and I'm gonna lift up here. And that looks better to me. It's still, I think it's the flaring of the teeth that's making it look like that. Now when you lift it, it's gonna make this bend too short, so you gotta actually lift the whole thing, the whole loop. This one doesn't seem as such an angle, so I'm not going to mess with that. Let's work. And you know, you're moving this, and it's all in your perspective of the camera angle. So if I want to move this to the right, the whole thing will move to the right. That point will move to the right relative to the view you're looking at. So if I hit Q to pull that out of the scan, I have to be looking straight down on it. Otherwise, it's going to pull it straight at me. So if I did that same one here, it's going to pull it straight at me. Yeah, let's lengthen these a little bit. I would honestly like both these to go in the same direction. Sometimes you can do it, sometimes you can't. Depends on, like this one I may have some collision problems because it's real rounded, right? And so I might have some collision problems. I do want this a little close. I'm gonna grab that, I'm gonna grab the other two by using my mouse wheel. I'm just gonna pull this a little closer to that lateral. I usually don't mess with getting it closer to the tooth, because I'll do that in QC, but it gets it really close anyway. Oh, that's short. See this down here, the distance between the points is too small. Increase the distance between the points or delete the control points. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to stretch it up until that purple's gone. T doesn't work on that in those joints like that. All right, here's a moment of truth. I'm going to hit edit and we're going to see if there's any collisions. Yeah. So one thing you can do, you see how these are both angled in like this? If I take this, swing it out like that, and this is a quick bend for me to fix in when I'm adapting it. So if I do something crazy like that, let's edit that again. See if that collision goes away. Calculating, or it could have made it worse. Oh yeah, it didn't go away. Let me let's see, simulation. Let's mock this. Let's see, toggle next collision. Okay, so I might have to just put this forward and then adjust it later. That would probably fix that. And you can do these slider bars like this. And it goes through the whole collision thing. Oh, there's two collisions. Toggle next collision. Because because you do one if you don't fix it. Okay, so let's get this down again. I'm going to push E. I'm going to push it into the model till about 1 millimeter away. And then swing this forward or straight down, it doesn't matter. And what I'll do is probably straighten it when I get it ready for acrylic and then bend it back. Because I like it's just a thing where I like them to be, I think it just looks nice. There we go. Let's do edit. Oh, colliding there. But I have to do this. Let's edit. And sometimes it's this, I need to swing it like this. I need to swing the whole thing distally. And yeah, sometimes there's just something, some angle the machine doesn't like. Let's edit that. So I swung this back, I straightened this a little bit. Okay, we're good. Whatever I did worked. And you can always go to that simulation anytime. I'm gonna hit edit again. All right, so that's 106. I bet we need to change out the wire, but let's go to continue bending. Oh, I didn't do this right. All right, hold on. 350 and I know I said I didn't do it right, but it's okay. I need to change the wire anyway. So here's that little piece of wire from that 350. I still save it. And you can actually move it to your wire bender station. They can use it for a little clasp. I use these all the time for like finger clasp, which are like ball clasp without the ball. And I always use like little, you can see little pieces. I always use like little pieces of wire for the clasp. You can see these little pieces of wire that where it's been cut off. I'd come in here with like a magnet and pick all those up. Okay, so we're back to here, and then we will confirm completion of feeding. Yes, yes. Oh, an ortho plaque. Can it make a wraparound labial bow? Let me show you what it can make right now. And more are to come. I'm helping out with the research of the different things. Wires to be bent. Let me go return. So I can do a Hawley retainer. It can do a welded Hawley retainer. So Adams clasp and labial bow welded to Adams clasp. So it imports them all in, makes those things. Let's see if I can show you my fingers better. So it makes the Adams clasp and the labial bow parallel. And then it also does the wraparound. Oh, I went too far. And then it does welded wraparound. So welded labial bow soldered welded to C's. It does a Nance. And it does, this is a new lingual arch. So I won't probably use a Nance. I like to use thicker wire for that, but it's nice that it's there. So if I go to wires to be bent, remember we bent this right Adams clasp. We need to bend the left one now. So if we click, usually I click here to start bending. So I'm going to click the bending list, and I'm going to check this. It's going to list all these. Upper right Adams clasp, upper left, editing completed, lower not yet edit. So I'm going to unclick this, and I'm going to unclick this. So upper left Adams clasp, this side, and the upper labial bow. So we've done the right side, if you can see here. We've already done this side, and I call that the right side. And so it's red, meaning we've already bent it. And then green is ready, and then edit it complete. I don't know why that one's not green. But if I click this, start bending, let's see if I screwed this up. Oh, sorry. What I clicked was start bending. So actually, I don't know which one it's bending for. I think the Adams clasp, let's look. So let me switch over to this view, and we can actually start. Can I click? I got too many windows open. I'm afraid to close this window. I don't want it to stop bending. Bending list. Upper labial bow, lower labial bow. Let's click that. Let's just edit it while we're waiting. Seems a little short. Push T. Let's click on this button. All right. So it finished that one. and then it goes straight into, see, it usually tells me, hey, bending complete, or bending end, I forget what it says. But then it's ready to go. I'm just gonna click continue bending. It's gonna bend the next one. So you could actually get all these bent, ready to go. While that's loading up, let's go to this real quick. And again, I don't have this prep, so it's not seating all the way. You can see how close it is. Oh, let's go back to here. Let me answer a question. Between the AOS Micro and the DenckOrtho, which machine is more accurate? I don't know. I haven't had my hands on the AOS machine. I'm hoping after the conference, they're going to let me take it home and we can just do a side-by-side comparison. I think they're both really accurate. And again, it's all about the calibration. So I believe they're both really accurate. I need to learn this nice live stream. Oh, thanks. It's a little bit of a setup, weird setup we got here. But if you're talking about the live stream with the different cameras, join the fun. You know, maybe we can have a live stream together. But yeah, the AOS and the neck, and also Pinsa. So if anybody's interested, let's see, do I have a banner? I don't have one. This. That's it. No. I'm in the wrong one. If you go here, we're having it's orthodonticresource.com. We're actually having a conference, April 10th and 11th. There's going to be, I believe Pinsa for sure and AOS for sure are going to be there, the two wire bending companies. I think Denck is going to be there. I got to talk to Dr. Neil if he's going to be there or not. But those two are definitely going to be there, and you can see them in person. And then at the end of this stream, I'll show you, we're going to have an in-person training on this machine, and I'll show you all that at the end. So don't let me forget that. Bending is complete. Let me grab that labial bow. Go to my overhead cam, and then there we go. So this bend, I need to calibrate that one. It's just a little distal than I would like, which I would, a lot of these are like quick adjustments that you're used to doing anyway when you bend, because you can really bend a labial bow pretty quick when you're experienced, and that way, but sometimes a lot of your bending time comes to the final little tweaks and things to the labial bow. Hey Black Bear, you got the AOS machine, right? I think you do. You have to let us know the accuracy on it. Like I said, I haven't got to play with one in person. But there we go. There's a labial bow with 2 Adams clasps ready to go. So, we're working on this. Where did my labial bow go? That's weird. Okay, I'm going to close this now. We got 2 more wires to bend here. And Q, okay. I don't like this. It does this, and I don't think it can prevent it from doing. Oh, what are you doing? So I like to take that dot and try to. You can see how it rotates that labial bow when I push it closer. If I go too far, it gets into the gums. You don't want that. Oh, let me hit T. Oh, let me move this up. There we go. And you know, on the upper, it had that, the distal was a little, line here was a little distal than we thought, but oh, remember we're going to do a lingual arch, or a what I call a continuous rest. So we're going to make that. We're just going to try to predict. Actually, let's just get rid of this. Oops, get rid of this one. Ooh, that just buried it right into the gums. That should feel nice on the patient. Pull that out. There we go. Let's make it a full millimeter. There we go. And so you can set the millimeter, I believe it's wave offset over here. You can set that to be more or less. I think you just scroll wheel. Yeah. It just flipped this for me. Go back. Oh, I gotta look at it from the top. Like I was saying before, depends on the camera view. Let's go Q. So I have a feeling this is going to give me some issues with collisions. But this is going to have labio acrylic, so I don't want anything really to touch there. Let's do edit and just see if we got any collisions. Maybe it's a big mouth. I think it's a real small mouth where one side is close to the other. Oh, no collisions. So let's risk it. And I like to make this a little longer. And now let's edit. Okay. Let's start bending this. I do not. I wish I did. Money is the issue for the cameras or the wire bender. Either one's expensive. So I see what you mean there. Let's see. Still have experience. Thank goodness. They're harder to find. But, and where one of these machines comes in, I keep harping on this, it's not going to save you time if your main experienced wire bender is having to design the wires too. It's going to take almost the same amount of time. Now, less stress on their hands and stuff. I know I do 20, 30 retainers in one day. My fingertips start hurting, you know, the next day. This would help alleviate that. But if you have a young kid or something that doesn't know how to wire bend but can run the software like my son, they can take half of the wire bending time away from your wire benders, which is kind of what I've come to realize. I do want to visit your personal session in 2026. Yes, that is in-person training. I do have a link to that somewhere in here, I think. Yes, I do. If you are interested, you go to this link, and I'll also have linked it below. We're going to have an in-person wire bending training session with this machine, this wire bending machine. Dr. Neil will be there. He's an orthodontist in Shanghai who's helped develop this German wire bending machine. And it's going to be in Florida. It's going to be the Inman Orthodontic Lab. So it's $200. Where did my thing go? So it's $200. That helps pay for, I think we're going to have a barbecue Friday night. It's going to be 1.5 days really. And so you come in on Thursday night and then get there Friday, and we'll just spend all day with it. It's going to be fun. That was done bending. Let's get that. Where are we at? Okay, here is, oh, it's the upper. Get the lower model in here. How'd we do? Yep. Again, it just needs a little bit of, again, I'm using JBC wire, which is what I like to hand bend with. So the machine was not shipped with the calibration parameters for JBC wire because it's a little bit of a harder wire, more resilient to bending. It was shipped with Dentarm wire. So you can see I should have gotten that a little lower. Let's see, what does that look like here? Oh, I see what happened. Look, 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 look. Look at that. See how it's hitting? I didn't pull that out of the scan, so it's kind of going into the scan. Oh, you're not seeing what I'm seeing. You see this? It's in the scan right there. So I didn't pull that out of the scan. It's actually hitting a little too hard, and that's why it's not seating all the way. But it's really close. You can see how it's flared out. I need that to go a little bit lower. And that to go a little bit lower. But I think it's just mainly adapting it down a little bit and adapting it closer to the thing. Oh, it just fell off. Looks good though. It's kind of like having really fancy preformed wires. Okay. We're gonna go return. We're gonna go not wrap around. Lingual arch again. I gotta say this is still in beta mode. We're testing it, so these always come out just a little bit too wide. I'm gonna hit shift. Inside, you gotta hit shift and click. It's not much of a scan. I gotta ask Dr. Neal what that pop-up means, inputting the tooth. So I'm gonna hit T to get rid of it. Again, so you get these huge red dots like this, and you can make bulk adjustments is what I call it. Keep hitting T to... And let's see, it's going through the tooth right there. So let's, I'm gonna hit P for precision wire bending. I'm gonna grab that, which green dot here, we're gonna grab that, we're gonna pull that out. We're gonna pull this out too. And then pull that up. I'm gonna go there, I'm gonna push that into the fossa of the molar. Raise, actually I gotta raise that up, raise that out. That's a really rounded tooth. So I don't know if I like it having two bends like that. And I'm gonna hit T because it's gonna push it into the tooth. So I'm just gonna stretch this. And then we're going to, there we go. It's not, gotta make a weird bend around that. Now this, if I press T, it doesn't work because it's going around a bend there. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna click that, I'm gonna just delete that. And then that makes that bend point longer and we're good to go. And let's pull this out. Pull this out. Okay, so then we're going to push this up, and I'm going to push this in. And I've done this before without a problem where I just delete this later. I don't know why it puts so many bend points in there. Let's do T. Oh, dadgum. Let's pull this back. Let's delete. No. I don't know. Let's see. All right, so that's too far in there. Let's pull this up. Kind of a flare out there, but these teeth are leaning. That might be an issue. Is that under the gums? No. Different. Okay, let's hit edit. See if there's any issues or collisions or... No, we're good. Wires to be bent. Let's just do this. Ooh, I don't have enough wires. Look, 71. It's going to tell me I'll need a new piece of wire. Continue bending. 350. Now, that is the difference between... Probably the one drawback of this machine is being straight wire is you do have to constantly replace the wires. Now we're talking, I believe, with some wire manufacturers, if they can make really long wires, so like 600 millimeters long, and you don't have to change it out as much. The beauty of the Bender Max is it's just continuous feed, but you can't change the size as fast as you can in the Bender-S. So Bender-S you could drop down to 028, no problem. You can almost do it in the same session. It does give you a lot of warnings, like, hey, you just changed the wire type or size, and it's got that sensor in there that senses the diameter. So if you use the wrong wire type, I'll show you all this. Let me hit the setup here, wire version. So this is a version of the software. This is the types of wire that are in here. These are the Dentarm wire types, and these are the JBC that we're working to calibrate. So let's start bending. I think I did edit, didn't I? Yeah, nothing's changed. So start bending and continue bending. You can see, oh, you can't see nothing. I was doing the wrong thing. Okay, where I was talking about before was here. You click the setup and then wire specifications. And this drop down is where you choose what wire you're using. Since I'm bending, it doesn't show that. Oh, let's show what it's doing. It throws me off. It bends these upside down. What I call upside down. Let me show y'all this while that's doing that. If you click this, you can show all wires, and you can see how close you were, and you can make some adjustments. So it's probably good to do this beforehand. I wish I would have made these a little longer, but I knew this was going to be in here. So actually, theoretically, this should go underneath the labial bow wires pretty easily. Again, this has been bending them a little wide. Again, this is in beta. This isn't going to be the final result. It's just something you got to do with each wire type that you bend. And let's go here. Here is the final moment of truth. And yes, too wide. You can see it, how weird shaped it is. If I go back to here, you can see it's weird shaped. And you can adjust these if you wanted to. I didn't worry about it too much, or I didn't see it. I'll be honest with you, I didn't see it. So let's do this. And I'm going to just use some 3 prongs. I'm just going to round this just a little bit. There we go. I think that's pretty close. I do need to cut that. I don't have my cutters with me over here. So then that fits there. Wish I could hold this better. Teeth are leaning in a bit, so it's kind of hard to bend this right now until I get it on a model holder. But I do wish I would have bent these a little longer. I might rebend it again. But hey, that's it. Let's end it there. It's been almost 2 hours. We've gotten 1, 2, 3, 4. We did 4 wires. Would go a lot faster if I didn't do so much talking, but you can kind of see you get pretty fast at it. It works pretty good. So I want to bring up the show again. If you want to see this, it's going to be in Florida. It's going to be in Florida and at Inman Orthodontic Lab. This link is also below if you want to click on that. Inman Orthodontic Lab is hosting it, and we're going to have a couple of these Wire Bender-S, maybe that Wire Bender Max. I'll ship it over there too, so that you can play around with it. You can learn how to, you can bring your own laptop. We'll install the software on there, and you can run it from your laptop, just so that you have the parameters and everything there. So click that link below in the description and there. And again, if you're interested in one of these, again, it's a wire bender. It's $21,000. It uses straight pieces of wire, and pretty much any size except for real small. And it's a pretty good, I don't have a good shot of this. I'll show y'all this. That's the size of it. That wheel doesn't belong. That's to the Bender Max that's up here, the bigger one. So this is the little one. This is the footprint of it. And you can feed wire in the front and in the back. And this is a camera, and we'll get into that. That's calibration stuff. And it has a light box in here, if you've seen that. And this lights up, and it's got a camera, and it views the angle of the wire. It's really neat. I got to see it. Dr. Neil used it. So if you're interested, let's see if I can find I'm on the wrong mouse thing. Again, here's a QR code if you're interested. In buying one of these, you just want more info, you can click on it, and it will take you to a form, and you say, hey, I'm an orthodontist, or I'm an ortho lab, and you fill out the form, and you get more information from DenckOrtho. They don't really spend much money on advertising or on their website. They just pour it all into the product. They're already doing the next bender. I don't know when that's going to be released, but it's going to have a few more features that they told me. That's pretty cool. I can't tell you about it yet. But again, here's a QR code to the training. I think it's $200, and you can fly in. It's January 16th and 17th is when it is. January 16th and 17th. So that's a QR code for that, if you like using QR codes for that. And then, of course, the ORG conference that's coming up in 2026. There's going to be 2 or 3 wire bending companies there, so you can actually see these in person and compare them all. You can do what Jesse Inman did, and he went to all 3, and he brought a 3D printed model. He brought a thumb drive with the scan of the 3D printed model, handed it to him, said, put it in your software, bend me a labial bow. Got the labial bow, and then he could just sit there and put it on here and play with it. So you can do things like that. All 3 companies are great. And so Jesse Inman ended up buying one of these Bender-S's also, so the Denck. So he really liked it. But yeah, that's it. Am I missing anything? Thank you all for joining, and we'll end it there. And let me do an outro. Make it fancy. Okay. So until then, happy bending? Mechanical bending? I don't know. All right. I'll see y'all next time.